and welcome to AFRICUNIA television news updates, reaching from our studio here in Lagos, Nigeria, the nation's commercial capital. I'm Deborah Ezeh. Now looking into the African scene in Burkina Faso, soldiers staged a revolt in several army bases to demand the departure of army chiefs and better means to fight extremists. The army uprising is the latest threat to President Christian Kabore in the face of jihadist violence that struck the country in 2015. On the streets, many reclaimed the need for change at the top. And meanwhile, the Minister of Defense in Burkina Faso has spoken on national television to reassure the population that no institution had been targeted after shots were heard in several army barracks. The shots heard in army barracks comes a day after new demonstrations of anger by residents in the capital fed up with powerlessness of the authority to deal with the jihadist violence. And now in Senegal, voters in Senegal went to the polls on Sunday to elect local representatives in what many sees as a test for President Macky Sall and the opposition. It's the first election in the country since last year's deadly riots after opposition leader Ousmane Sonko was arrested. For many, voting in local elections is about solving local issues, and the poll takes place 5 months ahead of the general election, the first since Macky Sall was re-elected in 2019. And now we head to Ivory Coast, where Ivorian Prime Minister Patrick Ezeh announced the launch of a vast social aid plan on Saturday during a visit to the north of the country. The plan covers the regions bordering Mali and Burkina Faso, where jihadist groups are trying to recruit young people. The visit to the town of Talbo took place under high security and a heavy military presence. And now we head to Nigeria, where a new amendment to the Electoral Act has precluded the possibility of voters challenging credentials submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission by candidates. The proposed law, if signed by the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari retired, will allow only those who participated in the party primary to challenge in court the school certificates, the birth certificates, and other credentials of a co-contestant. Currently, all Nigerians are allowed to challenge the credentials of candidates of any political party. Now, this has been reaffirmed by several court judgments. And still in Nigeria, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, has described the Nigeria Labour Congress planned nationwide protest against fuel subsidy removal as unnecessary and misplaced priority. The NLC had fixed January 27th for its protests across the 36 states and a grand protest in Abuja over the planned fuel subsidy removal. And now on to the foreign scene. The U.S. State Department announced it was ordering diplomats, family members to leave Ukraine as U.S. President Joe Biden weighed options for boosting America's military assets in Eastern Europe to counter a buildup of Russian troops. The other, which also allowed U.S. diplomats stationed at the embassy in the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, to leave voluntarily, was one of the clearest signs yet that American officials are bracing for an aggressive Russian move in the region. And in Canada, interviews with a dozen healthcare workers, including 8 current and former nurses, reveal a health system strained by a pandemic wave that hits at the worst possible time. Sickness sidelining staff as more COVID-19 patients than ever need hospitalization, forcing health workers exhausted by 2 unrelenting years to take on more work. Job vacancy in Canada's health and social assistance sector increased by 78.8% between the 3rd quarter of 2019 and the 3rd quarter of 2021, according to Statistics Canada. And now updates from UAE. The United Arab Emirates intercepted and destroyed 2 Houthi ballistic missiles targeting the Gulf country on Monday with no casualties, its defense ministry said, following a deadly attack a week earlier. For more than 6 years, the Houthis have been battling a Saudi-led coalition that includes the UAE, repeatedly carrying out cross-border missile and drone attack on Saudi Arabia and launching an unprecedented assault on the UAE on January 17th. And still on the foreign scene, a 4th dose of COVID-19 vaccine given to people over 60 in Israel made them 3 times more resistant to serious illness than twice vaccinated people in the same age group, Israel's health ministry said on Sunday. The ministry also said the 4th dose or second booster made people over 60 twice as resistant to infection than those in the age group who received 3 shots of the vaccine. Israel has seen COVID-19 cases spiral due to Omicron, but it has lodged no death from the variant. And now on to the sports scene. Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics Organizing Committee on Monday said it confirmed 6 new positive cases of COVID-19 during testing the previous day. Of the new cases, 4 were among new arrival, and the other 2 were stakeholders already in the closed loop who are taking confirmatory tests. Of the 4 positive cases found among 529 Olympics-related arrivals at the airport on Sunday, January 23rd, 1 was an athlete or team official, showed a statement on the official Beijing 2022 website. And finally, Tunisia yesterday in Garel, Cameroon, exposed Nigeria's tactical deficiency at the ongoing African Cup of Nations, beating the Super Eagles 1-0 in the round of 16 encounter. Nigeria won all their 3 games at the group stage of the competition, while Tunisia barely managed to qualify as one of the 4 best third-place teams at the end of the group stage. Such statistics deceived pundits into believing that the Super Eagles would run over the Carthage Eagles. But that was far from the reality. After a first half dominated by the Eagles without any shot on target, Tunis came into the second half all gun blazing. Yesterday's game showed that Nigeria still have a big task ahead of them if they must beat Ghana to the FIFA World Cup tickets in the qualifiers slated for March. And now that's all we can take on News Update today. Do ensure to follow all our social media platforms on Jointim, Pangram, Instagram and Facebook respectively. And also visit our website on www.africunia.tv to stay up to date and connected to subsequent program bulletins. Once again, I'm Deborah Ezeh. Bye for now.